Hello, everyone watching this. Welcome, Patricia, to your own podcast, Alive and Kicking It. Today, there's a whole new episode with another intriguing title, which is Gone, 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 or Going, 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 Gone with
the
the
wind.
Wind. So, for me, it has brought up a few different things. I'm really curious. What made you choose this title and this topic?
Well, it's not very clear. It's just not, we're speaking with Ginny on WhatsApp, and I know she asked a question, and I said yes, it's coming, and then I just went, I don't know, I just went into that going, and that was it, because probably, and it's about choice, okay, and it's about commitment, what you choose for your own life and how you commit to it. And it's to do with, of course, the title refers back to Gone with the Wind. There's that big movie. I think it dates back to 1939, and that was whose backdrop was the American Civil War and the Reconstruction era afterwards. And that I only watched the movie once, but
Is
it's
that the one
known
with
as
Scarlett
well.
O'Hara? That love story?
Yeah, with Scarlett O'Hara and Clark Gay and Red Butler,
Yes.
who is featured by Clark Gable. But what I like about this film is how, when the past is just disappears altogether, everything that has made the past, now how you are in the present and what future do you choose? What do you choose in the present? That will create the future. That's a very interesting thing. And at the same time, it's a bit irony because, well, Gone with the Wind, that romance film, well, and it's also, well, going is about, and Gone is about auction sales. And I remember when I was a child, I used to go to auction sales a lot with my mom because she so loved that. And I was always sort of mesmerized by the auctioneer, with his gavel going, and there was that object to be sold on the stage, and he would comment it, and then there was that hush in the room where there were something like 100, 200 people, and it just acted like going, okay, giving prices. Everybody gave his or her price, shouted, and you just could hear these voices, nothing else. Everybody was just so quiet, and there was such energy of intensity at the same time, and that energy of people vying against each other, but that energy of I want it, I desire it. And it was, it's just, as a child, just, oh, wow. And then with Gabor going, and God, and when it was wow, and then you
Going
had all,
once, going twice. Sold.
yeah, and it was, I loved it because at one point everything was indecisive, nothing had been decided. Okay, people had made the choice to bid for that object or not, but they were okay with their choice um, being overridden by somebody else's choice. You see, that's interesting too, because it's
Can
part
you
of the
say more
thing.
about that?
You choose, you choose something, and at the same time, there's that vulnerability we were talking about last time, because it's okay if your choice is being overridden by someone else's choice and by someone else's bid. Okay, bid. Yeah,
So, what do you mean exactly with overrated?
overridden.
Overridden.
Okay, they know that. and it's like, and somewhere I get it's like the, okay, it may sound a bit crazy. It's like the object that is being auctioneered chooses who is going to own it or not. Okay,
Okay.
you get all
What?
that, and I like that. And well, it's such auction sales. It's such a small place, and you get such energies and the people there, the sales itself, the objects, and of course you've got the energies of money, all right, flowing all through that. And what can I get with money, what can I not get with money, and it's fascinating. Well, I've not been to an auction sales for ages, but I don't
Okay,
need to anymore.
cool. I wonder, so that's probably, I don't know, when I think about like auctions, there's not much coming up, like no imagination. So could you like sort of, because like obviously the title and this topic brought you with this, like how can you explain this with our lives? Because you said like a couple of things, committing, committing to choosing, and then there's the auction, and there's like, and then I kind of got lost a bit. So
Yeah,
can
of
you
course
explain a bit more?
it's like a metaphor for our lives, because very often we're going with, we've got choices. We know that if we want to go for what we really desire to be, not for our desire, but what going for what we desire to be, we have got different choices to make. Not one choice, but there are different possibilities for choices. Okay, now how do you make one choice out of the whole range of possibilities? And mainly it's not that, but usually what we do is, okay, I'm going to choose this because I'm sure that I've choose this is going to happen. So right then you're trying to project things into the future. You are defining things, and as soon as you start doing that, or you're going into conclusion, and as soon as you're doing that, you're going into constriction, and
Right.
a whole lot of possibilities are shut out.
Okay, so if I get it correct, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I have decided that I want to be married. I want a husband and I want to have kids. So
Mm-hmm.
if I decide that this is what my future will be like, I am going to start to make choices that will support that outcome. But anything else, I will not see and I will not choose.
Yeah,
For example, a lover.
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
putting it very
because you've
black and
you've
white.
got that thing. Yeah, that's it. Because you have that projection. You have gone into conclusion that if you do this is going to happen. So everything else has no space for existing. And anyway, you are going to turn a blind eye to it.
So how do you for everybody's like watching, listening right now or in the future, like because I sort of get like we a lot of us have that going on. I have definitely like a lot of
I
things
mean,
that I'm
yeah.
aware. How do you start? Is there like something that you can start with to sort of like look at those decisions that we have made, that this is our life going to be, to like sort of question it? Like, do you have like any tools or any ways that you go with this to go out of those conclusions? So
Well, it's
I
like,
don't
I think
know.
it's all on the title. It's going, going, going. And you're there. You know that there are these choices possible. Okay. But that's what I said earlier. You go to vulnerability, and whenever you've got all these possibilities for choices, and if you go into vulnerability and into trust too, and into allowance, that at one point you'll get an awareness, like at the auction support sales, at one point the gavel will come down, it will ping. And it's the same thing in your life. That at one time something will ping. That's it. That's it. It. So it's, well, of course, the more you train that muscle, the more you go into vulnerability and allowance out of projection and expectation, the more you're aware quickly and precisely and clearly. But it's fun. It's a game anyway. But if you trust yourself, if you trust consciousness for that, then it becomes so easy. It's like now I don't even have to go to, I use that tool, I use that question or whatever. It's automatic, sort of. It's here. Okay. So I never go, okay, if I do that, this will happen. Never. I just, sort of have a look at everything that's possible and get the energies of that. Of course, I ask the question, what is it going to, if I choose this, what is this going to create for me, for my life in 5 years' time, next year, in 2 months' time, whatever. And I leave it here. I let it rest. And of course, if I perceive that it's not going to create anything, that no longer belongs to the range of possibilities. Okay. Do you get that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. Can you like
And
for
then,
because I use
wait
it as
for
well.
something to ping, because I know I trust myself, I trust the universe, I trust consciousness, and I know that something is gonna ping, something is gonna, okay, and then I commit to it all the way.
So start what you mean also like with well I
And that's
what
gone with, sorry to interrupt you,
oh
that
no.
after, when you're committing to what has pinged for you and to the choice that you had delineated as possible, well, that's going with the wind. Okay. And I'm gone with the wind. And it's fun because just before the interview, I just searched on the internet wind of change. Okay. Because for me, gone with the wind is that. Gone with the wind of change. And I got that is the title of a song by Scorpion. Okay.
Yeah.
And they were a German rock group. And I've never really been much into Scorpions, but I used to, because I studied a few songs in connection with a music teacher with my pupils when I was, a teacher. And I like what they say, because it's a song that celebrates the end of the separation between West and East Germany, and it's about reunification. It's about togetherness. Okay. And what's possible. It's about possibilities. And that hasn't come to my mind, but it has. And that's it. Once you have, you've arranged for that range of possibilities, once you got that awareness, okay, that's for me, let's go for it. And then you commit to your let's go for it all the way, whatever. And then you are going on that wind of change. And it may be very tiny, insignificant choices, or it can be big ones. I mean, it doesn't matter really. So what I would say to people is go for that, because it's like it's muscle training. It's some sort of muscle, energetic muscle. So the more you do it, the more you get everything will be clearer, everything will be easier, and everything will be more fun. I so love fun, And so start with small choices. Just like, for example, what am I going to wear today? Or for girls, what makeup can I put on? Or what am I going to eat? Or what time I am going to go for a walk? I don't know, very, very, daily
I love
choices.
these.
We make choices every second.
Yeah.
So just decide to go for that for the 5 next minutes. What are all the possibilities for me? And you wait for the ping. The ping will come. If you say for the 5 minutes, for the 5 coming, I don't know, all words come, But anyway, so, and you get a ping, you get something. You can't define it, but you know. Okay?
Yeah.
Committing to it. And you're on the wind. You're on the wind of change. You're going with the wind of change. Because change is possible only when you have not already projected at the future. When you have no expectation. If you go walking, if you go for a walk, for example, this has been the choice you committed to. Okay, you go outside. If you have no projection about your walk, where you're going to go, how long it's going to last, how fast it's going to be. If you do not expect any outcome from it, or I'm going to get better, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to meet someone on the way, or whatever, you go for your walk. And you're in the wind of change because something will happen. And if you've not predefined it, anything can happen. And that anything can change.
That is so true. I've seen it with especially because this morning I woke up and I'm like, what am I going to do? And it was literally like doing something different. So I committed to that, and it was a great start of the day because my head was like, no, but you need to do this and this and this, which wasn't really, it was sort of like, if I would have done that, it would have been committing to what maybe other people expect from me or what I think other people may expect from me. But when I went into that, no, I want to go outside first, that was actually commitment to me, my well-being, my happiness. And then when I got back, so much more space and joy in my world.
Yeah,
So it's
because
the flow. It's like what you said with the wind. There was like a flow that wouldn't have been there if I wouldn't have followed that ping of going outside, because I have done
exactly.
that in the past.
Oh,
Where no,
exactly.
no, 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 I need to do
Yeah.
that. I need to do that first.
Your example is great. And what I would like to add, because it came in right now, it's just when you are gone on that wind of change with all the previous stages or steps we've been through, well, you are open to no separation with you or your body can be there. It's oneness. You're together. It's oneness, and with nature, with what happens, with everybody you come across, or with the trees or whatever. And because you have followed what is you, who you are.
I love that because we followed what was true for us. We didn't have to separate from us, so we
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
separate from everything else. I love that.
And that's a true gift. Talk about Christmas gift. That's, I mean, it's a Christmas gift of magnitude that everybody should give herself or herself, you know.
So,
But
you know what
it's
also
always,
comes up?
sorry.
And I'm actually want to ask you something about that. Maybe people who are like listening to this, is this also where I have done that definitely in the past a lot? Is you're in this moment in life and you get like stuck. First, you had like an epiphany. I'm gonna give you a real example. Like I am gonna be a yoga teacher, and I was living in Australia, and I was like, yeah, this is it, found it, I'm gonna do this. And the moment I have decided, I remembered that like everything, I was no longer happy, everything got like harder, nothing was like working anymore. I was seeing it in a relationship, I was seeing like it was like the whole spark that was before I decided I'm gonna be a yoga teacher, it was all gone.
Yeah, because you had decided it, and what if you had asked what does it take, and what will my life be like? Because we all of us, when we are so happy to hit upon an idea or a project or something that we think or someone else around us thinks is going to bring us happiness and ease and everything, then we just go for it. Yes, that's it. I found what I was missing.
Yeah, it's like the answer,
And
the holy
yeah, but
grail.
instead, if you just go, now, what's, if I choose this or if I create this, what is it going to create for me in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, and be really pragmatic about it. It's not about being in a dreamland, you know. If I want to be a yoga teacher, now what does it take?
Yeah.
All right. It takes a lot of administrative things, of, well, whatever. And about each one, what is it going to create for me, for
Yeah.
my future? And then you just leave it at that. You just ask a question and you leave it at that. You let it to rest. Like, you know, when you do pastry, you do I'm not sure, a dough, okay? And for the dough to really become what it is, you leave it to rest in the fridge or on the side of the table. It's the same here. Okay? You've created something, that idea, that project. Well, you work it, you sort, you know, with your hands, with your questions, and then you leave it at rest. And it will come to its full size. It will, okay? And then you can choose. But it's the same thing. You've sort of been willing to see all the possibilities, all it means, all it takes. It's not just, that's being an adult of consciousness, as Dr. Dane here so likes to put it, okay? It's being pragmatic and it's being willing to be what you are and to make choices that will bring the best in you and will allow you to be more of you, not more of something else.
That's so cool that you say that, because like now I actually got with that choice back then of being like a yoga teacher, that was like one of those choices that were like not for me. That was not the, because like the world became smaller. And was that like the information that was telling me like, Evie, no, this is not going to bring out the best in you. It's not going to be yoga. It's not going to be yoga. It's not going to be teaching yoga. But then a couple of months later, something different showed up, and I actually got so happy, which were my first bars class and the tools of access consciousness. So that was, and that, look, 5 years later,
Yeah, see, because
still
how about
alive
when you
and
get an idea
kicking.
too, always think of the question, is this the time? Is it the time right now?
To be yoga teacher, or is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can even answer the idea that, is it the time now?
Yeah, my how do you say it? My gusto for being a yoga teacher is like completely gone. I still love doing yoga for me.
Okay.
But like who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Yes, who knows? And it's like an auction sale. We're back with the title because you people who want to buy an object, they're willing to commit, because when each time there is their finger and go for a bid, they're committing to buying the object, but at the same time they're willing to let it go to whoever is going to bid most for it. And that's being vulnerable too. And in allowance. Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah, well, what it when you say that, it's with being vulnerable, it's like it really asks of you to be present with like the
Yeah.
different choices.
Uh-huh.
You have to be really present with, like, with that movie, Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get it until you eat one. But Forrest Gump didn't know about the questions. If I eat that chocolate, what will my life be like in
Yeah.
5 years? But it's like it really, and the reason why I'm probably hearing this really well, because I haven't been willing to be that present before, that sometimes a certain choice is like, yes, it's going to create more, yes, it's going to create more, and then suddenly it's not anymore.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to be really vulnerable and present to say, like, okay.
And that's the moment of asking for Forrest Gump's energies of vulnerability to be with you, I'd say. Because I've never seen Forrest Gump for me as is vulnerability. That's what it is. I love that film. I've studied it with my pupils quite a number of times because I think that's one of the most brilliant films ever made.
Yeah.
And Forrest Gump is that allowance of people, of everybody is, manipulating him, gaslighting him, but he's no allowance of all that, and he's ready to be that.
Yeah, he still chooses.
That vulnerability.
Still choosing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And
wow.
I mean, you can see that film again and again and again. And it's just, I think that when you start, that's what I do when I'm stuck somewhere. Instead of going, what can I destroy and create, or what can I, I just don't go off. I just go, okay, now, what about summoning that energy there is in Forrest Gump? That energy of vulnerability. And it's so easy to do. That's my own tool, okay? My own personal tool. Or anything or anybody, well, the energies of vulnerability, whatever, or whoever, summarize it for you.
Yeah. Wow. Is that like that vulnerability that you describe so well, and being an allowance, and having, when you bring in that example of Forrest Gump, it makes it easier to see? Is that where you just keep on, is that what Forrest does? He keeps on choosing, he keeps on having new adventures, he doesn't stop.
Yeah, he's committed to his life and to others too. I mean, it's love for his mother, for Genius, as I don't know. Every time I thought, and it was funny because when I studied that with my pupils, they were, junior high school. And I was not a very easy junior high school, but they always went, they just, wow. They laugh, they cry, I don't know, it really went very, very deep with them. So yes, I'd recommend to watch Forrest Gump, I don't know, 200, 300 times. you never get to the bottom of it, because and is there's in Forrest Gump, you find these five elements of intimacy: honoring, you know, always. I keep coming back to that because everything's in it: honoring, vulnerability, allowance, trust, and gratitude. Is all that.
I love that. I'm gonna add the link to the movie and these five elements
Oh,
in above.
really? I
I'm
didn't
oh,
know
oh,
about
sorry.
that.
So I'm going to
Oh,
add the link and I'm going to add those five elements
yeah.
to this video
Mm-hmm.
so people can
Mm-hmm.
that.
Because, well, I've been, it's not work, but it's just every day that goes by, I'm more and more, well, it's, yes, I've been diving into these five elements for some time, but every day it's more. And so, I mean, everything is here almost, and
I
yeah.
actually have these five on my bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
in the evening, not every evening, but that's like my aim. It's like to, as much as possible, check in with these five elements and then see everywhere I haven't or have been that day.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. So
really
you can do
helping me.
it that way. That's brilliant. Yesterday I was advising a friend. I'd given her an SOP session to do that. Just, have it on some chalkboard or whatever, on some big poster. Right, well, draw the five columns, one each for one of the element of intimacy, and every day to write down very quickly, I've been that or I've not been that, and that's it. And that's the question, well, what else is possible? How does it get any better than that? And that was it. And just don't make it significant ever. Okay? If you've not been in vulnerability, or just don't make it significant, then you just, well, brush the idea aside or put the paper to the dustbin or whatever. But I
That's
mean,
actually
it's,
an allowance. Because like I
yeah.
would, when you say like don't make it significant, I've used to be like the drama queen and like I haven't been vulnerable with me today. Oh my God, I'm so bad, Evie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's some of our days are so shitty, Well, just now I've been through 3 days, 3 very uncomfortable days. Um, because I'm not during an SOP session. I'm gonna say during an SOP session, I asked for everything that I had been hiding to unhide. So but I didn't even think of asking that, and that it should be done with ease. So I was just, oh my God, what's happening? And I tried to use the tool. It's not I tried, I used the tools, but it was just, and I could sense I was contracting more and more and more and more. And then suddenly oh yes, ease and fun. Okay. And that was my ask. And
That's a
so,
nice add
because
to
we
add that.
tend we tend so much to go into fighting and reacting instead of just doing things from relaxation. I think we talked about that last time. Just go into relaxation. But you see, I mean, it's just, we don't always get it right. We don't always get it wrong. We're never perfect. Oh, we can be perfect all the time. Everything's okay.
Well, that's a cool thing that you add. That was like me, me being more into like naturally head tripping sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The sometimes the next best choice is do something that will get me out of the head trip. That can be going out in nature, that can be going out for a run, that can be a massage or whatever. And then relax and then make a next choice. Because sometimes
Uh-huh.
when you're like in that head trip, you are like full of from you go from one conclusion to the other conclusion, and you're
Yeah.
like trapped in
And
your head.
yeah, you're in a loop. You're in a loop of over definitions, over conclusions, and that's it. You're in a loop and you're separated from everything. I can see that on the comments.
Yes.
Nico. Hello, Nico. A big hug. It says that isn't it important to remember that we still have the possibility to make choices even after that thing. So we still wanted at the auctions was sold to someone else. Yes, absolutely. That's something I wanted to speak about. Thank you, Nico. Thank you very much for that question. Wow, you're so energetic. And because it's what could I say? Yes, every time you make a choice, you don't stay with that choice. It's not the end game. You're already arranging for other possibilities because this choice are going to, for example, we said that we could choose to go for a walk. Okay, you go for a walk, but every 10 seconds you can go left, you can go straight away, you can go right, you can decide to walk faster, you can choose to or decide to walk faster, you can choose to say hello to the person that goes whatever, or to stop, or to, okay. So every time, well, every 10 seconds there are all these possibilities and you make another choice. And about Nico's question, the allowance is that you're going for a choice, you're bidding for an object, but somebody else may have it, and it's okay. That's being an allowance. No jealousy, no rivalry, no frustration. Being in allowance is that, okay, somebody else got it. Now, what if the object didn't want to be owned by me?
Yeah, what's right about it?
What's right about it? What is it going to contribute for the object, for that person's future, for whatever? Okay? You're in allowance. That's being in allowance. And it's not, well, I didn't bid enough, I should have, I shouldn't have. It's not about that. It's being in allowance of what has happened and in allowance of you.
Isn't it also that when you have said that a couple of times, when, trust, is that also where, okay, with Nico, the object that you really wanted sold to somebody else, is that also like trusting that maybe something greater for you is just around the corner?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's trust in, well, what I call the universe, or whatever you want to call it, but it's trust that, yeah, what else gets created from that? What other possibilities? Okay, for example, if I didn't get that, maybe I can bid for another object that will be a greater contribution for me.
Yeah.
Or the money can be put to use for something greater. I don't know. Okay, anything, just, be imaginative.
That actually opens up, I don't know for anybody who's watching right now, but that actually opens up, because while you're speaking, I'm like bringing up some stuff for me personally, what I have
Oh,
learned.
yeah, absolutely.
And
It's great. I love
with,
that.
with everything that you're saying, it's like opening up the clouds. It's like clearing
Yeah.
up the space. It's
Oh,
like,
thank you for saying that.
so
Yeah, and I
probably
think,
more is
well,
coming my way right now.
yeah, that's the objective of this podcast, to open up spaces and possibilities for, well, for people, for the podcast itself, for me, for you, for,
Yeah.
and also too in the chat, I've seen that Victor, yes, Victor said, hi, Patricia. And Victor was one of my few former students back in Vichy. And yes, Victor, thank you for still being there. Kisses. Victor is someone who is very, very brilliant and so much infinity. Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Life is so cool. Okay, so what are you going to choose now?
What are you gonna choose now? I
What are
keep
you
going,
going to
going,
beat
going.
for?
Oh, Nico is responding. It's
Ah,
like the door
lovely.
that closes in front of me opens another door somewhere else, and I have
Yeah.
to constantly challenge myself to accept the closed door to find the open one.
Oh, Nico, that's brilliant the way you put it. I love that. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. It's a challenge to yourself, but it brings so much fun, and it's about always. That's what I like. One of my motto is a rolling stone doesn't gather moss. That's what it is about. You're always challenging yourself to something more. You never stop at a point. Okay, because it's true that most of the times once.
Oh, Patricia just got kicked out of her podcast. Let me see if I can invite her back in. Yes, she's there. And
uh,
you're back.
I
Got kicked
went
out of
out
your
because
own
of my
podcast.
thumb or something. So what I was saying, yes, it's like what could I how could I put it? It's yes, every one of us, once we've made what we believe the correct choice, that will bring us more happiness, more joy, more money, more relations, more power, more control, I don't know whatever. We've made a choice. We tend to stop at that choice. But the challenge is to always go for more choice, because that choice puts us somewhere. But if we stay that somewhere, then everything comes crashing on and in. And again, you get separated. So it's always about moving, going to the next choice. Every 10 seconds, another choice, another choice, another choice, another choice. Not always big choices, of course, but never staying in the one choice. And it's okay, it's been quite some time. Just it's something you can also. No, we're not going to go into the relationship thing because that's going to take hours.
That's like another topic on its own.
So that may come up for another episode, don't know, because probably after today's episode something will come up. But it's yes, and it's a challenge. A challenge for me is something you have to put too much effort in it. Yes, Nico, I know you're okay. So I know you understand what I'm saying, but it's a challenge in the way that it's always going to a bigger version, greater version of what you can be. But it has, or it can be done. Then it's a choice. You can do it. You can choose to do it with ease, or you can choose to do it with effort, striving for something. All choices are okay. You just have to be conscious about the choice you make, and not why, but for example, what do I love about striving for something? You can ask yourself that question. Or, well, whatever. Okay.
Is this also where like the allowance comes in?
Yes, of course. Of course. Allowance of yourself in that case.
Okay, that door's closed. What's next? What next choice? What next door?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And the door is not closed. I don't see it as closed. It's wide open. but you've got other doors, other doors, other doors. It's a bit like Alice in Wonderland. You know, there are so many things to be found in that book too. And because I don't remember that, I've not read it for ages, but it's when she opens one door and one door and one door and one door and one door, you know. And it's like in the book, sometimes it may not be quite that comfortable, but you may choose to add ease to it, like I've done for the last 3 days, and then it transformed to something else. I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you. We got actually three movies that people can watch: Gone with the
Yeah.
Wind, Forrest Gump, and then Alice in Wonderland. And then, you know, play
Whatever
with
pings
voice.
for you. Whatever pings for you.
I love
And
this.
I think, of course, also what you can add maybe is the link to the English website that will soon be available for everybody. Yeah.
Awesome. Totally. Totally. And maybe just is it like possible? Can people like give a comment of possible topics that you could talk about?
I'd love that. Things that ping for them. Yes, absolutely. And that's interacting, and I would really, really, really love that. So Nico or whoever watches that later on, because this is also for later viewers, Victor, whatever. Okay.
Awesome. Patricia, thank you
Well, thank you
so
so
much.
much, Evie. And you see that time we have started with Friday that was going to be short.
Yeah.
And
We didn't had yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Thank you everybody
thank
also
you.
for watching. Thank you Victor and Nico for commenting.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. Thank you to you too, and for all those who will watch that later. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much. And thank
So
you very much,
everybody
Evie.
go out and live and kick it.
Yeah.
Love that